African Learning Institute on Local and Indigenous Knowledge for Community Resilience was organized by the Center for Indigenous Knowledge and Organizational Development, the Compass Network for Indigenous Development, and the Coady International Institute, with funding from the Christensen Fund. Delegates from 19 collaborating organizations gathered for a 2-week experiential field-based workshop in Techiman, Ghana. This video is a short presentation of the events that took place during the 2-week training in Techiman.
My expectation from this training is to learn more about indigenous knowledge, because we acknowledge that Africa has knowledge. We acknowledge that there are plenty things in Africa that we've not discovered yet.
My expectation from the workshop is that I know the NGOs who are coming are also doing community development, and I want to learn and share ideas with them so that from here I'll be able to carry on the community work I'm doing in the various communities.
My expectation is to get a different dimension of different cultures, the wealth of knowledge of all these cultures by the end of the day, so that we provide a new breakthrough for African indigenous knowledge use on different aspects of life.
And I'm very excited about being part of the organizing committee, but one of the learners for this African Learning Institute on Local and Indigenous Knowledges for Community Resilience. The Coady Institute has been doing community development training from people from the Global South for more than 50 years. And what I'm really looking forward to in this workshop is learning from the people who have gathered from across the African continent, and to witness their sharing with each other, their planning for how to build for community resilience in the future, and to witness the exchange that they have with our special guest from the Mi'kmaq First Nation in Canada.
My expectation for this particular workshop is to learn from other participants, and also to share what I also have, the knowledge base that I also have, for others to benefit.
And my expectations here, well, when I first got involved, I was told there's going to be some students taking a course. And when I got here, I realized they're not just students, they're people that have experience, educated people who have the wealth of traditional knowledge and science and social, I would say social justice experience in that. So I'm going to be working with an audience that just like me, who have experience, and they work for organizations that have a strong purpose.
They spent part of the time in the field to visit other communities, and Foricum, the host community, learning about agroecology, traditional health initiatives, traditional governance, and cultural heritage practices that build community resilience.
Once you are revisiting your culture, I'm sure we are still holding it. The only difference is that we have mixed it up with other people's culture or cultures. I may describe our culture now as cultural monarchy, because colonialism changed our profile a bit.
From the people from Foricum, but we believe that if Ghana is going to develop, it can only develop on the knowledge of the elders and the wisdom of our ancestors. In all our countries, we also have elders like here. But well, there are different cultures, different things, but basically the same African culture. So the idea is to come and learn from each other, understand each other. Sometimes we also go to visit other places and learn from each other and see how together with that knowledge we can reach.
Engaging communities. They also spent time in the classroom sharing what each of them were doing in their respective organizations, understanding advocacy tools, biocultural protocols, and indigenous development concepts.
And all of these things matter to a people. It's not so much the fact that the technology is delivering, but it also part of it.
Can I just stop you there? Because I think
according to me,
we have these mountains and we have some caves in it, and we have a shrine. We have the other side to another cave which we call the magic cave. But the shrine, we call it Buddhist shrine. The Buddhist shrine serves many purposes. It's for the traditional religion.
Yemi hunu mpanyinfoɔ akwantua betu de ba ha yi ɛyɛ anigesɛm kɛseɛ paa ne nkurahyɛ kɛseɛ ɛde ama kuro yi na bɛma ɛbɛbɛɛ so yɛni agye bɛ ho dwumadi abɛdi abɛdi kuro no ne dwumadi adi no biabɔ babɔ no kuro ma no ama kuro no nkuraa ne mpanyin nyinaa asua dwumadi bebree.
And the family that I'm with today is a family of our traditional herbalists.
he has welcomed us as the family and all the family members. And in just a few minutes, we already engaged in plants and how they treat, how they manage diseases. And he has highlighted just a simple start that the use of herbicides and insecticides is really a big problem to the future of traditional medicine.
And the total be also. The amendments and maybe one free yes system. This is a boy and a young say, Sanya Mana free. It made the back in a tree in Chimapona, a bit in.
In most cases, when NGOs or development workers go out to communities, they go with the mentality of training our people who do not know anything, providing or giving supplies to people who have nothing. But one of the concepts that we are also promoting is about appreciative inquiry, which is all about first learning what the communities have, knowing their context, understanding their socio, cultural, ecological, economic context, so that you can use this as the basis for agreed priority actions with the communities.
Confidence should at one point be able to look back.
Participants witnessed indigenous food and traditional recipes, traditional seeds and herbal medicines and plants that were on display in Forikrom community. At the end of the 2 weeks training, participants were awarded certificates each.
I'm going to use this knowledge in the groups where I work from by encouraging the women to always go back to their roots, to seek advice from the elderly persons, either the traditional leaders or even just the old people in the communities, to get the knowledge, because they are the ones who hold the knowledge and it should be passed to all the generations.
Throughout the 2 weeks, a lot of
lessons, sessions have gone a long way to equip me the learning and sharing concept, which I can go back and share with my colleagues.
And I think this knowledge, once we have given to a few of the community members, we shall spread it to the other areas so that they can also be able to acquire this knowledge.
And so far, I have learned enough. I have learned from Uganda, especially about our African sciences, our traditional medicines and herbal medicines. And I've also learned a lot from the Techiman people in Canada. What struck me most during the training was about the great turning, especially talking about gratitude. I think our indigenous systems, our indigenous families, we have so much that we've not been able to be grateful for. I mean, NGOs always come into communities asking us what our challenges are, their problems are. But we have never really sat down to identify the resources we have, the institutions we have that have made community to be very resilient up to now. From the course, I have also come to learn that wherever there's life, there's a bit of resilience in that community. So as far as you can find human beings in communities, you can find elements of resilience in those communities.
I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the Christensen Fund for their generous funding support for the program, as well as the Coding Institute and Water Aid Ghana that all contributed to making this training possible. Thank you.